That I kept in my lap as I sat down in my chair. One of its eyes winked lewdly at her. Her eyes rolled crazily in her head until only the white showed. Her body hit the floor with a sodden plop. I disposed of the drugged wine, replaced my head upon my shoulders, and called for help from a nearby hospital. It took 4 strong interns to carry her off. They finally had to use a straitjacket. Believe me when I tell you that she will continue screaming until the moment she dies. A very unpleasant woman, a very unpleasant fate. So, what does that say? I slept well. In the morning, okay. The morning gave promise of a successful day. Breakfasting in the corner drugstore gave me a chance to get in, some small touches. I did something to the brain of the clerk behind the drug dispensing counter. The prescriptions he would mix that day would serve purposes that would raise me even higher in the estimations of the great prince. I tipped the counter girl well and left. It was a beautiful day and my spirits were high. I was crossing the street when it happened. Uh-oh. The traffic lights were changing, and shooting out of the side street came a car determined to beat the signal. A taxi on the avenue had already leapt forward. Both drivers swung their wheels hard in an effort to avoid each other, but it was too late. The wheels slewed and the metal bodies came together with a grinding crash, then bounced apart. It all happened too fast for me to do anything. The crazily careening taxi slammed into my human body, and darkness descended upon me. I was dreaming. Something was happening. I was carried. I tried to talk. I couldn't. Dreaming. There were long curtains. They were doing things to me, warming, something warming. I couldn't stop them. Tried, couldn't. Dreaming, warming, terrible, eyes, pitying, worrying. Pitying, worried, frightened. There, old man, don't toss yourself around so. It's rest you need. My eyes opened, looked wildly around. Take it easy now, the voice continued. You're in a hospital, but you're going to be all right. You'll be up and around in a few days. No, wait, before too long. I tried to keep my voice calm. I kept it weak, deliberately. My human body had its shock, and now, on awakening, my immortality made me as good as new. That was something, though, which I could not let them suspect. So weakly, I said, How long have I been here, doctor? You were brought in unconscious 12 hours ago, pretty badly bunged up. Bunged up. 2, but that's been all patched up. Matter of rest now. Steady recovery. Wow, this one's full of ads. Insure your children now. Costs so very little. Insure your children? Anyway. Grueling to keep the pretense of acting in a normal manner when there were so many questions to ask. It was better to go slowly. Thank you for everything, doctor. I owe you my life. Nonsense, old man, we did our best. And luckily it was good enough. Did I lose much blood? He patted my shoulder. Don't you think you ought to save your questions until you're a bit stronger? Stronger. It was all I could do not to tear his throat out as he evaded my question. Please, doctor. I'm anxious to know just what happened. Do me the favor. All right. Then you'll go to sleep. Promise? I promise. Talk. You lost quite a bit of blood, but luckily our blood bank was able to replace that. What? Yeah. Wait, this is the story? Of course, that's what saved your life. I knew. I was on him with a bound. He had time for just one feeble squeal before I shredded him into red ruin. The anger that filled him was not to be measured. I was blind to everything but sheer destruction. Feet coming down the corridor warned me. I changed my shape, melted through the closed window, and took myself off to the Netherbourne, where the great prince awaited me. His glowing eyes were sad. I dropped to my knees before him as he shook his head. I am sorry, loyal one, sorry. But it wasn't my fault. I know. It is the order of things. It cannot be changed, even by me. That blood. Yes, loyal one, it means you cannot come back again. You must go back to the earth. For how long, great prince? For all time. Never to come back? Never? His eyes were sorrowful. You will return to earth, loyal one. You will remain there forever. You are immortal. You can still serve me faithfully, but you cannot return. It is the law, immutable. Tell me, great prince, will I still retain the powers and the talents you have given me? Yes, that is what I meant when I told you that you could still continue to serve me. One last favor, great prince. Ask it. The power to enter the body of those who are well, not to take the place of a departing soul, but to be able to enter the human form of anyone, to control them from within, to force them to my will, to have this complete power throughout all eternity. Granted, that is within the rules. Okay, we're going to stop there because it's gone for quite a while. I might not even be able to. There's only a little bit left, so I'm just going to finish it. Okay. I took one long last look around and then I left. I have been back on Earth now for about a month. I have not been idle. Do you wonder why I have told you all this? Do you wonder that I have taken the time and trouble to outline my career? But surely you must have suspected. You are no fool. Remember that I am immortal. Does that mean anything to you? Think. Think of the 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, thousand, million, billion, trillion years I have in which to serve the great prince. Think of your earth. Think of the people that crawl upon its surface. Now narrow it down. Narrow it to your own hemisphere, to your own country, to your own state, to your own city, town or village, to your own house, to yourself. Let us be sensible about it. There is absolutely no way out for you. Of course, you can argue that with the population of your Earth consisting of numberless millions, it is possible for me to miss up on you during your lifetime. That is not logic, it is specious reasoning. I admit that you have as good a chance as anyone in dying before I get to you, but haven't you noted how I have what? Bumped upon my immortality. Bumped? I don't, I need glasses. Okay. I have harped, sorry, oh my god. But haven't you wondered how I have harped upon my immortality? If you will forever, no? Bedtime immediately after this one. Okay. If you will forgive my feeble humor. Maybe I should read this tomorrow. No, fuck it. If you will forgive my feeble humor, remember that I have all the time in the world. Suppose I don't get to you personally. You still cannot escape me. Escape. Suppose I don't get to you personally. You still cannot escape me. Repeating that I have enough time to get around to everyone eventually should stir the chords of understanding. Get it? Your descendants. Your descendants. If not this generation, then the next. If not this century, then the next. If not this eon, then the next. It is of no importance to me whether I get to you directly or through your descendants. The important thing is that without any possible chance of failure, I'm going to get to you somehow. I can be your cab driver. I can be your cab driver. I can be the policeman on the corner. I can be the barber who shaves you. I can be the person who gives you your next job. I can be the next person to ring your doorbell. The end. Oh my goodness, but one of the ads next to this on the next page is learn how to mount birds. It's really this one was a gruesome. Wow, learn how to mount birds, songwriters, leg saws, learn electrical appliance repairing. Well, that was interesting. Wasn't fabulous, but it wasn't terrible. It was well written, and it was fairly gory, which, what more can you hope for? So yeah, still not drinking yet, but I will probably next time. I might do the poll on Twitter this time and also ask some questions around on Instagram, because next we'll be moving on to 1947, won't we? Yes, we will. Look, I'm going to scour through these editions and I'm going to come out with some good names or ones that I think sound interesting. And I will do some polls, ask some questions. Yeah, so again, thanks for joining me.